Mr. Marciot, I wanted to get your take on something. Is inflation decently priced in, or are there still some opportunities out there?
I think a lot of investors are thinking about that as well. As you point out, inflation break-evens have rallied strongly. Equities, which on the whole are beneficiaries of higher prices if they can maintain their margins, also seem to have priced in a lot of upside. But interestingly, cyclical commodities remain an attractive opportunity.
Do you mean energy and base metals? But Brent crude is up 13% year to date, and copper's up 15. That's more than the MSCI All Country Index's roughly 2% year to date performance. How can you say that commodities are not pricing in an inflation shock?
Well, first, let's take a slightly broader picture. The MSCI World is now 15% above its pre-COVID peak, but energy commodities overall are still about 20% below their pre-COVID peak.
Okay, but base metals are above their pre-crisis peak by over 30%.
Yep, no denying base metals have been on a tear, but let's look beyond spot prices. As you can see from these charts, the oil and copper future markets are still not pricing a major pickup in those commodities in the near term. Oil prices are expected to fall in the next few months, and copper prices are expected to stay steady for a few months before falling as well.
Okay, that's a fair point. It seems inflation pressures are building, not receding, so I would expect these curves to be upward sloping. From a carry perspective, going long oil is especially attractive.
Yes, exactly, but don't forget, it's not just carry that's attractive here. Looking at the oil market, it looks like there will likely be significant excess demand over the near term. The chart here is one way to see this. The red line is year-on-year growth in oil demand, the blue line is the year-on-year growth in oil supply, and the black line is our global growth nowcaster. As you can see, the growth nowcaster has done a decent job at tracking oil demand growth, and the pickup in oil demand it's been seeing for the last few months now seems to be taking place. However, oil supply growth isn't keeping up with current level of demand growth, never mind the level our nowcaster would estimate.
Yeah, that's interesting. It also squares with some of the latest numbers I've seen by other oil strategists that see demand significantly above supply for the next few quarters.
Yes, exactly. And just regarding base metals, keep in mind the important link between those commodities and Chinese growth, which is bouncing back strongly and will likely continue to do so, given the sanitary situation there and the ability of policymakers to stimulate. So there are fundamental supports there in addition to market technique.
Okay, I can see the opportunity to play the inflation trade in cyclical commodities. That's been helpful. Thanks.
Not a problem. Always good to chat.